What's up guys, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. In today's video I am finally going to be doing a farming guide. Now this farming guide will include all of the gear you will need and basically how you progress throughout farming. Now real quick, this is not going to feature a full walkthrough of what you need to do. This is the gear and all the other miscellaneous stuff you need to get as good as possible in farming. Now let me know down below if I missed anything, and yeah, make sure to subscribe and like to be a part of the 17k gem giveaway. Let's just get into the video. First up, we're going to be talking about the different pets. Now, the first pets we're going to be talking about is probably the most valuable pet early game, which is going to be the rabbit pet. The reason why this is probably the best early game pet is after this pet reaches epic rarity, you're going to unlock the farming wisdom boost. Now the farming wisdom boost is great because at epic level 100, I'm not too sure on what it is at level 100 epic, but you will unlock an extra percentage of farming wisdom. As you can see here, epic level 100, you're going to have 30 farming wisdom boost, as you would with the mythic one, which is just overall great for leveling up early game. It is a big pain to get to level 30, level 40, all those milestones you want to hit quickly while farming. It can be a big pain without a rabbit pet. So I would say a rabbit pet should serve you pretty well until you reach around level 40. When you reach around level 40, that is the time to introduce the elephant pet. Now the elephant pet I would say you should get once you get level 40, and the reason being because you get 150 farming fortune. That's a base ability, plus you get the 60 farming fortune from the actual pet itself. If you give it a green bandana or a yellow bandana, you'll get some extra farming fortune on top of that. This is just going to increase your farming fortune in, for example, Jacob contest or just for getting money. This is going to be your best friend when it comes to making money. Or, as I said, progression through Jacob contests and etc. Now, when you get enough magical power and you get enough strength, I think it's 1,200 strength, it is much more valuable in terms of money to get yourself a mushroom cow pet. Now, some would argue that the elephant is actually better than the mushroom cow. Yes, it is in some scenarios, because if you have a high enough strength, you're gonna get a lot more farming fortune than what you would get from, let's say, the elephant. Now, you can pick and choose, but ideally you would use a mushroom cow if you need money, and you would use a elephant pet for contests. Although it doesn't really matter, they're pretty much equal, other than the fact that you get a little more money because of the mushrooms and stuff. But you can pretty much choose if you want to go with the mushroom cow or the elephant. The more strength you have, I would recommend going for the mushroom cow. Now next up on that list, it is going to be the rose dragon. The rose dragon is around 1.2 billion coins for the level 200 one. So that is probably out of most people's price range. If you're starting, or if you're pretty like mid-game, it could be a bit tricky to get to that 1.2 billion coin mark. Of course, you could buy the egg, which costs around, I think, 576 mil, yeah. But the bad thing about that is that you need a ton of XP to hatch. And when you first hatch it, you're not going to have that great stats yet. And that's where the hedgehog pet comes in. The hedgehog is going to be your ideal pet to use for what's called pest farming. Now we're going to be talking about pest farming a little earlier or a little later on. But I'm just going to mention, if you're going down the route of pest farming, there is another 2 pets that you're going to be looking into. For spawning pests, Slug is going to be a really valuable pet to use. Now, it does technically get outclassed by the mosquito pet, although some would argue that this is a little bit better because you get that 100 extra farming fortune while you farm with the slug active. Now, you're going to be missing out on about 10 bonus pest chance when you use the slug instead of the mosquito. But then again, it costs 200 million coins more for the mosquito than what the slug is. So I would argue if you're just casual farming, get the slug pet. If you're really going down to the nitty-gritty stats, get the mosquito. I got the mosquito. I don't really see a difference between the two. That's just my opinion. Now the hedgehog is pretty much going to be your only option when pest farming until you can afford to get a rose dragon. That is because of the overbloom. As you can see on the hedgehog, grants 100 farming fortune and 35 overbloom on pests. You could also use the rose dragon, which gives 40 overbloom, which is just much better overall. It also has a lot more farming fortune, which would help against the pests. So it does get outclassed by the rose dragon, but until then, the hedgehog will serve you pretty well. Now that we've talked a little bit about pests, we gotta get into chips. Now, chips might be the most valuable thing inside of this. Now, to actually max out all of the chips, all of the 10 chips, you're gonna need 250 million sawdust. As you can see, I only have 49 mil. So I still need 200 million sawdust to be able to max it. But I'm going to give you a little walkthrough of what you should max first, depending on where you are in the game. I haven't really done a good job at maxing my sawdust, or maxing my chips. And that is because I went down the route of pest farming pretty early on. If you're going for progression, the first one I would go for is the snow ledge chip. Get this maxed out as quickly as possible. It is just going to help you get to that level 50 super quickly. Now, the snow ledge chip might be the most valuable early on. Some would argue that the mecha mind would be even better to get your farming tool leveled up as quickly as possible. Now, getting your farming tool leveled up could be a bit tricky because you need to get it to level 50. Excuse me. Getting a farming tool to level 50 can be pretty tricky. You also need to use overclockers and stuff like that. So just getting it to level 40 quickly, so you can start earning the overflow XP things. It is very nice to have a max farming tool, but I would say go for the snow ledge first, then get the mecha mine chip. Now after the mecha mine chip, I would say getting the quick draw would be the best. Early on, you need visitors, you need to get copper. It is basically just going to be the most valuable one to get. So get quick draw leveled up after mecha mind. After quick draw, I would go for hypercharge so that your temporary farming fortune buffs are 5% stronger. That is at level 1. I think it goes up to around, I think it goes to 100% stronger in the end. So you would have 400 farming fortune instead of the 200 from Philip. Now on that note, if you don't know who Philip is, if you come over here and talk to him right here, he has the pest wares where you will be able to buy everything that has to do with pests. The traps are probably your best option early on. Getting these traps are going to be very, very nice for bestiary and stuff like that. It's going to be nice to have the chance to log on, kill 12 pests if you have the max trap, and then you're done. You're also going to be able to unlock the hedgehog through this if you don't want to buy it from There is also the biohazard armor set. I'm going to be talking about that later. Same with the other stuff that's here. But for now, the hedgehog is pretty good, and of course the traps is what I would recommend. But it does have the vacuum bag, which is pretty good. When you actually unlock your pest vacuum, which you can buy from your garden desk, if you go to SkyMart, over to pests, you can buy all the sort of vacuums there is. This is obviously the best one, but it is the most expensive one. So if you're just starting, the SkyMart vacuum will do fine. You can also buy pest repellent as well as a sprayinator. Sprayinator is going to be great if you're doing pest farming, which we're also going to talk about a little bit later on. If you want a pure pest farming video, I do have one up on my channel. But the pest repellent is if you really don't want to stop farming to go kill the pests. It is nice if you're in the middle of a contest and you don't pest farm. That's going to be pretty good for you. Now, back to the chips. The next chip I would go for after getting the hypercharge maxed out is the vermin vaporizer to get your pest chance up. Whether you're pest farming or you're not, you're gonna need the pest bestiary, so just getting the highest possible chance of spawning pests is gonna be your best bet. Next up, it is going to be the overdrive. Overdrive, I haven't even bought it yet. I haven't gotten around to it, but Overdrive is going to be your best bet after that if you're purely going for progression. Getting the crop fortune for Jacob farming contest is great because you do need to get one of every single gold medal to actually be able to hit farming 60. That can be very tricky if you don't have these things unlocked because it is what people use to get high placement in contests. After you get the overdrive, I would recommend going for the rare finder, because now you're about the stage where you should have gotten a armor set which drops crop drops. Basically crappie, squash, fermento, or helianthus. These things are gonna need overbloom. That's why you need to get this thing maxed out. It's the only chip that I have maxed out, and it's because it is the most important one. Now, after getting Rare Finder, you can go for the, where is it? Synthesis. Not really that important. It is a pretty meh thing to get early on. It is more for that later stage where you're gonna have to just get these things maxed eventually. If you're purely going for the greenhouse with farming, then these will obviously be valuable upgrades. Same with the next one, which is the Evergreen. So getting these two maxed should be the last option because of the greenhouse being a pretty end game thing. It could be valuable earlier, but I would say it's a pretty end game thing, especially if you want to make money from it. So I would leave these two for last. Next, we're going to be talking about farming tools. Now, if I bring out my farming tool here, we're going to be seeing a bunch of different enchants on it. Now, first of all, I want to talk about the Crop Fever enchant. Crop Fever 5 is a expensive yet really powerful enchant. It costs around 40 million coins for a maxed book, T5 book. Although it's expensive, it is very good where you activate a ability which basically just gives you bonus drops based on RNG. It is pretty fun. It is a little bit of excitement when farming. But other than that, I mean, it's a worthwhile investment. I think with my tracker on Sky Hanny, I think I've made back around 22 mil just from the Crop Fever enchant. But yeah, it isn't needed early on, but it is nice to have later in the game. Dedication is a very valuable enchant. Now, getting Dedication 4, you actually have to drop it from the Librarian, or you can buy it from Bazaar. It is a very expensive enchant, but it is very valuable the later you get into the game. Delicate 5 is also a pretty valuable enchant. It only costs around 2 million coins, and it basically prevents you from breaking baby crops or regular crop stems, for example, for pumpkin and melon. It is just very nice to not have to go replant your farm. Efficiency 5 you don't need. I just put it on for show. Feast 4 is pretty good. Feast 5 is very expensive, so getting everything around Feast 3 and above is pretty good. Harvesting 6, which you drop from the Year of the Pig event, really good, very valuable. Replenish 1 should be the first thing you get on a hoe, if you ask me, other than Harvesting 5. It is very nice to have Replenish so that you don't have to go sow the farm every single time you farm it. And then Turbo, whatever the crop you're farming, is also going to be great to get as early game as possible. You get it from basically just placing good medals in the contest. You'll be rewarded with the turbo book of the respected contest. So if you're going for wheat, you got to participate in the wheat contest, or you can just get it from the bazaar. Next up, it's over on the enchants. Early game, I would recommend getting blessed, because it's going to give you a bunch more farming wisdom. It is also going to give you a little bit of farming fortune. Now later on in the game, I would recommend getting bountiful, as it's going to give you the most amount of money. But you can decide between the two, but after getting to farming 50, I would just recommend getting bountiful. Now, gemstones, I would go for flawless gemstones until you really don't have anything else to upgrade. Then upgrade to perfects. It is very, very expensive. It's around 100 million coins to max this wheat hoe with perfect gemstones, which is extremely expensive. So that is sort of the last upgrade you should be doing if you really don't have anything else to do. Other than that, farming for dummies is great, which you also drop from the Year of the Pig event. I don't actually have farming for dummies, but getting farming for dummies is good. You'll get 1 farming fortune, and you can apply it up to 5 times, so you'll basically have 5 farming fortune. Now, other than that, of course, getting it recommed to legendary after all of the upgrades, you of course gotta upgrade it through a couple tiers, which is gonna cost you Jacob tickets as well as crops for the respected hoe you're upgrading. Now, after you reach level 50, you're gonna be able to get a drop called, let's see, it is not in here, okay. I have some in my backpack though. It is called Tool XP capsules. These things are worth around, I think, 200k per 100k now, and they will drop pretty often after you reach I think it's 200k XP. Every time you hit 200k overflow XP, you'll get one of those drops. So getting an extra 100k every time you get 200k XP is pretty nice. Now moving on to armor. That is basically the next part. For armor, I would recommend starting with the basic farm suit armor. Farm suit armor you're gonna unlock in wheat collection. If we go here at farming level 3, you can start using this. So basically, after you've gone to the hub, started collecting some wheat, you're gonna be able to unlock farm suit armor, which is gonna serve you well until you hit farming level 10, and you can get farm armor, which is even better. And this even has some gemstone slots. The last one has 1, but this actually has 2, although I would not recommend putting gemstones on it, as it's a very early game armor set. Next up, you're gonna have to get the let's see, a rabbit armor if you're able to get the collection for it. This is technically the next upgrade in line, although it's perfectly fine to just stick with farm armor. But farm armor is going to be the next one until you get to rabbit. Now rabbit is after farming level 15. Not really that needed, but it is a little upgrade. Now after farming 15, you're going to have to get all the way up to farming 25 to unlock the next one, which is going to be melon armor. Now melon armor is where you start unlocking bonus pest chance. Now, the reason why I talked a little bit about the biohazard armor is because biohazard gives you 16.5% bonus pest chance. That is nice and all, but I personally would just stick to melon armor, get it upgraded to the next one, which you're going to be able to get at farming level 30, which is going to be crappie armor. We go to recipe crappie armor, which is going to be the next one, which gives 12.5% bonus pest chance. So at this point, you're going to be able to use this for pest farming, although I wouldn't really recommend doing pest farming until you're at the later stage of the game. Now, talking about pest farming, there is 2 ways of farming. There is, of course, the standard way of just farming using pest repellent, not really caring about the pests, or you can just farm and then go out of your farm, kill the pests, continue to farm, not really going in for the whole pest farming. Then there is, of course, pest farming, where you want to get as high of a bonus pest chance as possible, as you can see over at my stats in tab here. Now, getting bonus pest chance can be a bit tricky, and you want to get at least 500 base bonus pest chance, so that you can actually get that you can get 6 pest spawns every single time you spawn a pest. Now, getting to this can be a bit hard, but I do have a whole video on it if you want to go check it out. But that is basically the different kinds of farming. Now, back to the armor. After you get crappie armor, you're gonna be able to farm your way up to farming 35, another 5 levels, which is gonna unlock you squash armor. Squash armor has a 15% bonus pest chance, as well as 30 base farming fortune on the chestplate and 25 on the rest. Or it actually seems like the chestplate and the leggings give 30 plus. This is where you're going to start seeing a big increase in money made. You're also going to have the tiered bonus, Mento for Mento, which means you're going to start seeing some drops here and there. They are still extremely rare by this point, so don't be sad if you don't see anything, because a 0.005 chance of dropping Fermento, that is pretty crazy. Now, next up, it is going to be, of course, Fermento armor. Fermento is gonna be a really big upgrade to the squash armor, seeing 35 farming fortune, 30 regular fortune. It is gonna be crazy to get this upgrade from squash. You're gonna be seeing a lot more money. You're also gonna be starting seeing a lot more drops. It is just gonna be great with that 17.5% bonus pest chance as well. You're gonna be able to start pest farming with a big increase in money. After you hit farming 50, you're going to be able to use the Helianthus armor set. This is the best farming set in the game without a doubt. 20% bonus pest chance, which is just on its own insanely good. I would definitely recommend going for 2 sets of this set if you're going to be pest farming. It is crazy expensive, I know, but it is mostly because of the reforges. If you're going for pest farming, you should have Manted on your armor set, as well as Presterminator books. Presterminator is pretty much useful even if you don't pest farm, because you get the farming fortune from it. Getting Presterminator 6 should be a must-have. Other than that, you don't really need any enchants. Now we're talking for early mid-game. But for late game, you should get yourself Sunset on the armor. It is crazy expensive, but it is needed for the Overbloom. To get max Overbloom for pest farming and regular farming, you need to get Sunset. Gemstones as well, as per usual, as mentioned earlier with the tools. Perfect should be the last upgrade you do, as mentioned with the other one as well. Now, if you're purely going for regular farming, getting Mossy on your armor set should be the way to go. Although, if you're going for a Manted set, as well as a Mossy set, you need to have the boots of the Mossy set to Manted. Now, that is pretty much it for the armor section. Moving on to equipment. Now, equipment, you're going to have 2 sets of equipment. It is going to be the Pest Hunter equipment, and it's going to be the Lotus equipment. Now, the Lotus equipment, as can be purchased in the Sky Mart, as you can see here, it is now called Pony or Peony. Before it was called Lotus equipment. I didn't actually know that it changed name, but Pony equipment, which is the first equipment you're going to be buying inside of farming. It is also going to stick with you quite a while. Now, the thing about this is the peace bonus salesperson complete garden visitor offers to gain farming fortune, which means that every single milestone you hit, you're going to be upgraded with some farming fortune. I am currently on peace bonus plus 11. It goes all the way up to 5,000, I think, total visitors served. Now, after a while, you're going to have to upgrade to Blossom, which is the current equipment I got, which on its own, I'm pretty sure gives 30 farming fortune. plus the peace bonus after or on top of that. I'm not too sure, maybe 25. But Blossom is going to be the best equipment in the game for farming as well as greenhouse. Getting Green Thumb on it is crazy expensive. It is around 150 mil for an entire set of Green Thumb 5. I have it on both of my sets because it is the best enchant and pretty much the only enchant you should have on your Blossom or Pest Hunter or Pony or whatever. Now, actually getting the Pest Hunter equipment you can do while talking to Philip. He sells it in here. Now, getting the actual Pest Hunter equipment should be your option if you're pest farming. You shouldn't really be using the Pest Hunter equipment if you're just going for regular farming, you don't really care about pests. Then you're going to be much more suited just going with the Blossom or the Pony. But getting the Pest Hunter equipment is the best option if you're pest farming. If you're pest farming, you do not need Blossom or Pony at all. This is the only set of equipment you should be using. You should not be equipment swapping. That is a myth and it is debunked. It is a lot slower and it's worse for your rates. Just use Pest Hunter equipment. Now, I'm going to be talking about other stuff that increases your farming fortune. First of all, we got a couple talismans. First one being Atmospheric Filter. The Atmospheric Filter can be dropped by the Might Pest. Now, what the Atmospheric Filter does is it gives you different bonuses depending on which season it is. As for right now, it is spring, which means I would get an extra 25 farming fortune, and in summer you would get 20 plus farming wisdom, sorry. And autumn you would get pest spawns 15% more often, and in the winter you would gain more copper from visitors. It is a very cheap talisman, it only costs 295k. This should be on your purchase list as early game as possible. Excuse me. Next up, it is going to be the Anita talisman as well as the artifact and ring. It is pretty expensive. It basically just gives you farming fortune in the different contests. It is pretty nice to just get it. It is one of those ones where you sort of buy and just forget about it. It's going to help you in contests. It's basically just going to give you one of the 3 contests, and it's going to give you 25 farming fortune in one of them. So it is sort of useful, but it is very luck based if it is the one contest you want to do. Next up, it is of course going to be the Pest Hunter Talisman that you can buy with Philip here. It starts with the Pest Hunter badge, which gives you 20 plus farming or bonus pest chance, as well as bonus pest chance 40% for the Pest Hunter ring, and bonus pest chance 60% for the artifact, as well as 80% for the Pest Hunter relic. Getting to these isn't that expensive. You can get it pretty easily by just grinding out pests. It is one. Well, that is super cringe. My headset just died, but I will not let that ruin my half an hour long video. Moving swiftly on. These are things that can happen while recording. But I'm just gonna live with it. Things happen. Moving on. It is going to be the Helianthus artifact, which is the final upgrade to the talisman. But I'm just gonna show you the first one, which is the Crappie talisman. Gives you a low fortune in these 3. After that, you're going to be able to get the Squash ring, as you can see here, which gives you 20 fortune in a lot more things. After that, you're going to be upgraded to the Fermento artifact, which is the one I currently have, since I haven't been bothered to upgrade it to the Helianthus relic. Actually, it's not an artifact. This basically gives you one fortune for each one of those, and then upgrading to the Helianthus will give you basically just farming fortune plus 40 in everything. So that is a pretty good late game investment. It is basically, it is going to help you. It's going to help you a lot. Now, moving on to the next talisman, which you can get as well, is the Agari Mu artifact. It's basically just going to give you an extra farming wisdom. It is pretty expensive though, but you can get the ring, which also gives the farming wisdom. So technically you just need the ring if you're just going for farming. But it is pretty valuable. A farming wisdom there and a farming fortune. No, a farming wisdom here and a farming wisdom here it adds up. The next one is going to be the Bioanalysis Talisman, which you can't buy. I forgot about that. It is the talisman you gotta unlock, but it is very worthwhile to get. It's basically just going to give you more copper when you analyze mutations in the greenhouse. And it's definitely one of those must-haves if you're trying to complete everything in the garden. And then the final talisman, which is inside of the farming, which is going to be copper talisman and copper ring and copper artifact. These are crazy expensive. 50,000 copper required for the artifact. Excuse me. Which is a crazy price point, but that is it for the talismans. Moving on to some miscellaneous stuff that you sort of need. Number one is going to be to upgrade your bestiary inside of pests. This is going to give you bonus farming fortune. As you can see here, garden fortune. For each of these, there is bonus farming fortune to get. And it is very valuable to just get this done. If you're just pest farming, you're going to get this done eventually either way. But getting it done as quickly as possible is definitely valuable. Next up, it is also going to be getting crop milestones done. If you go into garden milestone, crop milestone, as you can see here, maxing out the crop milestone will give you a little bit of farming fortune as well as gardening XP and all of that as well. As well as eating a cake. If you do /visit PRTL, you're gonna get to this place right here. If you go ahead and actually consume these cakes, you're gonna get a bunch of stat boosts, but one of those stat boosts is also going to be farming fortune, as you can see with this black cake, or not black, pretty much brown. But if you consume that, you'll get a nice little piece of farming fortune as well. Other things you can consume is, for example, a cheese pot. Now, consuming this will give you some bonus. Okay, it is not showing. Let's see here. It is gonna give you 20 plus bonus pest chance for 1,000,000 coins. It is gonna last you an hour. I would say if you need the bonus pest chance, then it is definitely valuable to get it, but it is not needed. Same thing goes for the next thing, which is going to be the cacao truffles, which you can buy from, I think you can buy them from here. Yeah, refined dark cacao truffles, which will give you 30 plus bonus fortune for 60 minutes, but it's also going to give you 1 global fortune for every time you consume it, up to 5 times. So that's an extra 5 fortune. As well as the rose water, which I'm thinking is, yeah, which is also going to give you 1 plus farming fortune for each time you consume it. And it also consumes to grow crops within the greenhouse by 4 growth stages. So it is pretty helpful for the greenhouse as well. Next, it is going to be probably one of the most important upgrades to keep watching while you progress throughout the game, which is your garden farming fortune perk inside of Anita or Elizabeth's shop. This is gonna be crucial to get max farming fortune, but many actually forget. But it is very important to just keep leveling in this up. It gives a total of, I think, 40 after the max level. And there is also another bonus shop which you need to max out, which is inside of Anita over here. It is pretty pricey. You need gold medals and you need Jacob tickets, but it is going to give you another, I think, 40 extra farming fortune at max. It's one of those things where you have to invest. eventually to get the max amount of farming fortune. Now, the final thing I'm going to be talking about is going to be shards. Shards are extremely important if you want to get max farming fortune. If you go into the hunting box here and go over to the farming section, getting all of these shards maxed is going to give you so much farming fortune, as well as overbloom, damage to pests, and it's going to give you some visitor stats as well. It is insane, and you need to get it maxed as quickly as possible. This should be something you invest your money in throughout your garden progression. Pretty much the garden works as a big investment. Every single coin you make from the garden should go back into your setup. It is just how it is. But yeah, that is going to be the end of this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully this guide can help you get max farming fortune and get your setup as max as possible. It was a pretty long video, but hopefully you guys stayed to the end. If you did stay to the end, comment pest fortune and you'll get a little heart on your comment. Make sure to join the Discord server, link is in the description, as well as subscribe and like to be entered into the giveaway. Type your IGN down below if you want to get picked, of course. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.